Hey guys, what's going on? It's me again. Hope you guys are having great weeks as usual. Come on now, let's have a good summer now. um, so this is probably gonna be a really long video, so I'm just gonna get into it. As I told you guys, this is the beginning of the end of the how I got to pace videos. So this is the story. So where did we leave off? We left off with me and my ex, Caleb. We just broke up. And I was sad, so I booked a trip to Disney World to see my really good friends down there and have some fun. So that's exactly what I did. I booked a trip to Florida and I went down to Florida for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I came home Sunday. That sound right? I'm not sure. Maybe I came home Saturday. I went down Wednesday and came home Saturday. That was it. So, um, what happened? I met a friend and okay, I stayed at my friend Alex's apartment, who is absolutely amazing, and I could go on talking about how good of a person Alex is for 3 days. So he's just a really awesome guy who I adore. He's such a good person, and I can't wait to see him soon. Very excited. But back to the storyline. Um, we met off of this horrible, absolutely horrible phone application that I have, and it's in the camera right now. I'm not going to go into details about it, but it's there somewhere. And I would delete it, but I'm addicted to bad ideas, so it's still on my phone. Gotta delete it soon, but I met some of my best friends through it, so it can't be that bad. Yeah, it is. It really is that bad. But, so we started talking on this phone app, and we just talked, and it was kind of like when early morning before I did whatever I was doing, and late at night we would chat a little bit on the phone app. And I didn't even tell you this guy's fake name yet. We're gonna call him Micah. Let's go with Micah. Micah works. So Micah, yeah, me and Micah start talking on this bad boy, and we started talking, getting to know each other, just like, random, like, talking. When you start talking to someone new, like, you play, like, the whole 20 questions, like, oh, what do you like, what don't you like, all that boring stuff. Not boring, sorry, it's really interesting stuff. Yeah, it's very interesting stuff. So, we start talking and getting to know each other, and one of the first things I remember finding out about Micah was that he was bit by a shark. And for those who don't know me out there, I love sharks. I'm one of the biggest marine bio nerds out there. Like, from their denticles to their caudal fins, I love every little thing about sharks. And that's the proper pronunciation of sharks. Sharks. Remember that. If you want to be smart, call it a shark. So, once he told me that he was bit and survived a shark attack. I mean, granted, it wasn't like a real bad shark, but still, how many people can you say how many people do you know that have been bit by a shark? Like, I just think that was so awesome, and once I found that out about, he, like, went from, like, here to, like, here. Like, I thought he was so cool, and I really wanted to get to know him better. Like, that sounds really bad. Like, the shark bite made me want to get to know this kid better, but I mean, he knows it. He's okay with it. I call him Shark Boy, and he knows it. So, what happened? So, we talked back and forth. We were gonna hang out while I was down there. We were gonna go to the beach, and he surfs a lot, so he promised me he was gonna teach me how to surf. So I'm like, oh, awesome, sweet. I've always wanted to learn how to surf. It looks fun. There's sharks. You're in the water. What's not to love about that? I would be very excited to do that. So, we were talking, going to hang out, but we didn't get the chance to hang out because I was only there for like 2 or 3 days, and I was crazy busy between friends and parties and different things here and there. And so, unfortunately, I couldn't hang out with him while I was down in Florida. And then it came time for me to come back to New York. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm never going to talk to this guy again. Oh, well, bye. Bye, Shark Boy. So I get back, and I signed back onto this horrible idea of an app, And all of a sudden, I get a message from him again, because it's kind of like a distance thing. So like, 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 it gives you the homos who are near you. So it's horrible, terrible, horrible. But so he wasn't in like my range, but he must have favorited me. So like I still showed up in his feed. So he sent me a message like, "Oh hey, what's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Apparently I'm back in New York, and you still want to talk to me. Okay, that's cool. Most guys aren't like that, but okay." So so we started talking. We exchanged um, phone numbers, and we're texting and Facebooks, and we added each other, and we noticed that we had some common friends. And the main people we had in common at the time were my really good friend Alex and Alex's then boyfriend. Let's call him Nigel. Nigel works. So, um, and side story about Nigel, the factors in. Nigel is a very successful boy who works in Manhattan but lives in Florida, so he's constantly flying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And just while I happened to be in Florida, he was in Manhattan, so I didn't get to meet him. And I know that Alex was really bummed out I didn't get a chance to meet him, yada, yada, yada. I really wanted to meet him. I was looking forward to meeting him. But, so when I got back to New York, and Nigel was in town, me and Nigel decided to hang out and meet each other and like spend a night in the city. And this was like the defining moment of me and Shark Boy. Like this is like the first time like we actually talked on the phone, but I'll get to that. So Nigel and I were supposed to meet at Nigel's hotel at like, let's say for argument's sake, like 9 o'clock, right? So I went into the city by myself to meet up with him, because I really wanted to get like a feel for him, like one on one, not in like a big group with friends and everything. So going in, and I start like getting this huge panic attack, because like I hadn't heard the nicest things about Nigel, and like I was a little bit worried and very, I don't know, like it just feels awkward to meet one of your best friends' partners without them being there. It's like, oh hey, the only thing I know about you is you're dating my really good friend Alex. How are you? So it was a little like I was freaking out, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to call Alex because I like like how do you say, oh I'm afraid to meet your boyfriend, sorry, tell me about him. So I wind up calling Shark Boy, and me and Shark Boy, like I'm freaking out, and Shark Boy doesn't pick up. And then he texts me. He's like, "What's going on?" So then I send like this really, 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 really long text message, being like, "Hey, I'm in the city. I'm going to meet Nigel. I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do. I'm so nervous. I'm so scared. Blah 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 blah." So then I'm like, I want to talk to you, find out what he's like. Blah blah blah. And he's kind of like, "Oh, I'm out with friends at dinner right now. I can't really talk on the phone." But like, we stayed texting the whole time, and like mainly when like I was waiting for Nigel to show up, because Nigel was like an hour and 45 minutes late or something around that nature, and it was horrible. I was on the phone with Karen, and Karen was not happy. Karen, ooh, the things Karen was saying, but like, yeah. So I'm texting Micah on the phone with Karen, waiting for Nigel, and it was just a mess. Like, I was very uncomfortable sitting in the big lobby of this really fancy hotel by myself, looking like a freak, because I'm like, who sits in the lobby by themselves for like an hour and 45 minutes waiting for someone to show up? So finally he shows up, and it was really nice, because Micah was texting me the whole night, like, how are things going? Is it okay? Are you comfortable? How is he? Is he nice? Is he being nice? What are you guys doing? Like, he was really texting me the whole night, and like, I really appreciated that. And then it got to, like, me and Nigel were out till like 4:30 in the morning, and I had work the next day at 8. It was a really fun time, but so um, Micah was texting me until about like 3:30, and he's like, "Look, I'm really about to fall asleep. I'm really sorry, but I want to talk tomorrow, and like I want to hear the full story. I want to know everything that happened. Blah 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 blah." So me and Mike, so I got home, and Mike is like, "Text me when you get home, so I know you got home safe," and blah 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 blah. Because I'm like an hour away from the city by train, so I get home, I text Mike. The next morning, I wake up to a text message from him, and like, we just that night, like, we talked. I worked and I called him, and like we had a really long conversation, and like starting from that moment, like there was kind of like a bond that formed between me and Micah, and we we got really close, like really fast, and like we would text each other all the time, and we would just talk, and it was really nice having that friend. And we started, I don't know, like, I guess slowly but surely, like, flirtation got mixed in a little bit, and then we, I don't know, I mean, naturally, really cute boy who was bit by a shark, who was there for me when I needed him. Like, how long was it until I had to develop feelings? Not very long. So, like, I started forming, like, this little bit of a crush on him, and it was so, like, middle school, like, he's Shark Boy. So, like, I was really pathetic. Very pathetic. And, like, long story short, like, and this was going on for, like, a couple months, like, 2 or 3 months, and, like, we would text all the time, and we would Skype, and we would talk on the phone for like long times, like hour and a half, 2 hours. Like we had some very long conversations, and like so naturally, like I started developing feelings. And at this point, I didn't know where my future was headed. Like I wasn't originally planning on going to Pace. Originally, I was planning on going to NYU. Actually, I really wanted, and I when I was little, I always wanted to go to NYU, and like, growing up, I always wanted to go to NYU, and like, I really wanted to go to NYU. But then I met Micah, and then I'm like, ooh, maybe I don't want to go to NYU. Maybe I want to go to Florida. And I'll get to this in the second video because this is gonna be 2 videos long. So I was starting to think like, oh, maybe I'll go to UCF and I could go to, right? Real good comparison from NYU to UCF. Smart idea, John. Really smart idea. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to UCF, and maybe me and Micah could get together. Like it was just really like childhood, like wishful hopefulness. Like I don't know. Like I was being very stupid, and I wasn't really thinking things through so much. I mean, I've always been the type of person who like believes in like things that are very unlikely to happen, and like I really put a lot of hope into things that I shouldn't put hope into. But things kept developing with me and Micah. Like we got very close, and like he knew more about me than a lot of my really close friends do, and we became really good friends. We were talking all the time, and there was a lot of flirting going on. So I really thought that there was a chance with us. I really thought things were going to work out for us, and I really thought we were going to be together. But I'll get to that in part 2 of the video. But I really was thinking to myself, like, oh, if I don't get into NYU, it's a sign that I should go to Florida and be with Shark Boy. Oh, funny stuff. So, and like, things developed to the point where, like, it just kept growing to the point where, like, even, like, we started this running joke of us being future fiancés. And how corny is that? That's so corny, but, like, I was like, ooh, future fiancé. So, I don't know, I was really giddy and really stupid. But yeah, I really thought things were gonna work out. Like I didn't think like to that degree. Like I hadn't thought about that, but like we had like a running joke where like we fake planned a whole wedding and like silly stuff. But I really thought things were gonna be awesome. Well, stay tuned to see what actually happened.